Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The United States says it has seized a second tanker in the Caribbean after saying it apprehended a Russian-flagged vessel linked to Venezuelan oil in the North Atlantic. Here footage of US Coast Guard boarding the two ships in the so-called Ghost Fleet. Moscow says one tanker was only temporarily flagged to Russia and that no state has the right to use force against vessels properly registered in other countries' jurisdictions. The first ship is accused of breaking US sanctions and shipping Iranian oil. It's historically transported Venezuelan crude oil, but reports say it is currently empty. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has been discussing a range of options to acquire Greenland, including using the military. That's according to the White House. It said that acquiring Greenland, a semi-autonomous region of fellow NATO member Denmark, was a national security priority. Trump repeated that the US needed Greenland for security reasons over the weekend, prompting Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen to warn that any attack by the US would spell the end of NATO. That came hours after European leaders issued a joint statement rallying behind Denmark that said Greenland belongs to its people. It's for Denmark and Greenland and them only to decide on matters concerning Denmark and Greenland. The strongest criticism came from the Spanish Prime Minister.
As a country, Spain, which believes in peace, diplomacy, and in the UN Charter, we cannot accept this. Nor can we accept that the territorial integrity of a European state such as Denmark can be threatened. We cannot accept it, and we will not.
Ukrainian Prime Minister Volodymyr Zelensky says European allies have not given him sound guarantees that they will protect his country in the case of new Russian aggression. I am asking this very question to all our partners, and I have not received a clear, unambiguous answer yet, he told reporters. His comments come a day after the UK and France signed a declaration of intent on deploying troops in Ukraine if a peace deal to end the war with Russia is agreed. The US, which has been leading efforts to end the invasion, reportedly did not sign such a pledge at talks in Paris on Tuesday. A spell of freezing weather bringing heavy snowfall and ice has caused transport disruption across Western Europe. Hundreds of flights have been cancelled at several airports, while Eurostar services and haulage have also been affected. More than 700 flights were cancelled at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, a major regional transport hub. Meanwhile, France's Civil Aviation Authority has asked airlines to cut 40% of flights scheduled for the main international airport in Paris. At least 6 people have died in weather-related incidents across Europe this week, 5 in France and 1 in Bosnia. A plot to kill Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has been thwarted, that's according to the African nation. The sophisticated plan had been hatched by Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, the military officer ousted by Traoré in September 2022.
Grâce à leur résilience, grâce à leur détermination, grâce à leur abnégation.
Mahamadou Sana further alleged that the plot had been funded from neighbouring Ivory Coast. There has been no comment from either Colonel Damiba or the Ivory Coast. The Saudi-backed Presidential Council in Yemen has expelled the leader of a separatist group and charged him with treason after he failed to fly to Riyadh for talks. 6 other members of the presidency accused Ayadouras al-Zubaydi, head of the United Arab Emirates-backed Southern Transitional Council, of undermining the independence of the republic. A Saudi-led military coalition said Zubaydi fled after not joining STC officials on a flight from Aden and moved a large force to Al-Dalay province. And a stonemason in Scotland has turned snowmason to build an impressive igloo with a working fire and chimney. It is one of a number of unique sites across Scotland as heavy snow falls in the north and northeast of the country. Kyle Doran said he built the structure at his in-laws' home for his daughter, using an old plastic Lego tub to create blocks. He said that while the fire melts the snow, the cold conditions mean that it freezes again as soon as it melts.
Kind of building a bit of a play area for my 3-year-old daughter, really. But it's kind of taken off from then. She loves it. She's been playing in here. It was my mother-in-law that gave me the idea. I've not slept in here yet, but I think I'll have my toes pointing out the doorway if I did.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.